What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to Element 305. I'm your host, Trone.
It's your co-host Gary.
And today we're here to talk about my favorite team, your favorite team, our favorite team, the Miami Heat. And we're gonna get into all of that real soon. But I just want to make a quick announcement. So you guys probably noticed we haven't been streaming um, as much, and we've decided to pause the streams. We'll pause the streams for a little bit. Once the playoffs start, that's not going to change. We're still going to stream like each playoff game, but just the streaming during the season, we've decided to just kind of fall back off of that for the time being. That's not to say that that's not going to come back, but it was just a decision that we talked about and we decided on. But in replace of that, you guys will be getting weekly episodes of Element 305. We'll be recapping the games, just giving our opinions on everything involving the game. So thank y'all for those who did tune in to all of the live streams. Thank y'all to those who did interact and everything on all of our live streams. We truly appreciate that. And like I said, during the playoffs, we'll be back. But for right now, we're just gonna stick to the weekly episodes. Giving our recaps and everything. So, with that being said, we'll move right into it. So right now, the Heat, they're sitting at 24 and 19, currently in fifth place behind the Knicks. That hurts just because it's the Knicks. Like I don't want to be behind the Knicks in anything. Um, but Gary, what have you like? What are your takeaways? So far with the team.
Um, I feel like like we have like three, maybe like two 20 plus point per game scorers on the
Mm-hmm.
team, and somehow we're like bottom as a team on offense.
Yeah, it's
So
weird.
like just that overall just explains how the season has gone. Like
Mm-hmm.
if let's say for example, a team starts hot.
Right.
There's a very high chance they don't even like Miami doesn't get back on the game unless like they just get cold
Yep.
in the second half, and then we start hitting shots or something like that. But
Right.
yeah, that's literally been it. I feel like everything, like the team has gotten stagnant in a way,
Mm-hmm.
like they needed a change.
Right.
And like later in the episode, we're gonna talk about the trade that just happened, but
Right.
that a change of scenery, like a new new just a new player that's coming in like that hoops was
Yep.
needed.
Yep.
And they just got him, so yeah.
Nah. Yeah. And I
And then
fully. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
yeah, I was just thinking like the fact that Jaquez has been up for the last couple games.
Yep.
He was like a energy booster for us because
Yep.
he always played both sides of the ball, and he was always running and pushing the pace.
Yep.
um and then he went out. Some of the starters came back from injury, and then it was a whole thing of having to reinstate like everybody that was out into the starting lineup or back into the lineup.
Right.
So I guess that kind of messed up the rhythm a little bit, but
Right.
yeah.
Nah. And I completely agree. Like I completely agree with everything you just said. Yeah. We're not. I mean, like I said, we're in fifth place, but the records from like fourth place to like 10th are not that different. Like they're not separated. They only separated by like 2 or 3 games. So we go on a losing streak. That can be the end of it. Like we can end up in like 11th, 12th place. And just the way that we've been playing lately has like it hasn't been great. Like for some reason we can't score, and I think us not being able to score is also affecting like how we play defense because it also seems like we're not stopping anybody either. So just
Right.
just seeing that like is pretty unfortunate, especially when you're right. I think we have 3 20 point per game scorers. I think it's Bam, Jimmy, and Tyler. And for us to not be able to like put the ball in the basket is trash. Like, and I think I think that, and I'll kind of get like more into this a little bit later when we talk about the trade that you mentioned. But I think that once Tyler came back from his injury and got inserted back into the starting lineup, and then Duncan had to go back, back to the bench, that kind of threw the rhythm off because Duncan was cooking. And then on top of that, I think Jaquez getting injured, like you can see kind of like how much he impacted the game just solely off the fact that he's looking for a bucket. With Jaquez, like if he gets the ball on a fast break, he's looking for a bucket. He's looking to score. Um, Not to say that he's a bad team player, but sometimes like the Heat, if you watch enough Heat games, you know that they can get stuck in this little rotation where they're like pass, like unselfish, to the point where they get too unselfish. Like our last game against the Magic, we had like 3 or 4 24-second violations. And it's like, bruh, shoot the ball. Like somebody shoot the ball. And it
And
sucks. It's no, what you saying, Gat?
no, I was gonna say like they would pass,
Mm-hmm.
drive in, kick out,
Yep.
pass, keep passing, drive in, kick out. Like at some point you have to like look at the basket and take a layup or something. Try to draw a foul.
Facts.
And that's another thing they struggle with. Like they are putting no rim pressure at all. Like
Nope.
if it's not Jimmy, nobody else is putting rim pressure. Like
Yep.
Caleb will drive here and there.
Yep.
Um, and then Bam now has settled a lot for those fadeaway jumpers, which are
Yeah.
going in.
Yeah, they are.
But like
He's hitting
at
them.
some point, you gotta like at the beginning of the season, like he would draw fouls. Like he was shooting like what, like 7 to 8 free throws a game
Mm-hmm.
or even more.
Yep.
And now like the last like 5 games, he shot less than that. Like
Yeah,
you
he's
gotta
definitely
start
turning
drawing
into a
fouls.
he turned into a jump shooter, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and granted, like it works, but now that people are starting to respect the jump shot, pump fake, get to the rim. Like he's quick enough, he's agile enough to be able to pump fake and effectively get to the rim. If you get past them, they're gonna foul you. If if you don't, get past them or whatever, or if you're able to like blow past them without them moving, then you got a free bucket, you got a free lane to the basket. Um, and another point that I wanted to bring up too was regarding Tyler Hero. It sucks. Like I honestly think Tyler spends a lot of time on the internet because he's playing how people are complaining about him. Like early in the season, they were complaining like, "Oh, you taking too many bad shots. You taking too many bad shots." But now it looks like he went from taking too many bad shots to not taking any shots at all. And there's no reason there should be a 24-second violation when Tyler Hero's on the court. When it all boils down to it, especially with that lineup of like Bam, Jimmy, Tyler, Kyle Lowry, and whoever they have at the four, Tyler is the scorer of the group. Like Jimmy can be a scorer when he wants to. Bam can be a scorer too when he wants to, but Tyler is who you would look at as the scorer in that group of people. And for those 24-second violations to happen when Tyler's on the floor, that's unacceptable because we look at you to be the scorer. Like I think everybody's in agreement that if Tyler plays last finals, I mean, maybe we still don't win. Like maybe Denver is just that good, which they were. Like that's taking nothing from Denver, but we would have never hit those spots where we weren't scoring the basketball. And I think that right now Tyler is in his head, and hopefully with the shaking up and the moves that they made, um, today you're recording this on a Tuesday, so today, like hopefully the moves that they made is gonna get Tyler back into his rhythm, to score and to continue to be the 20-point plus scorer every game. Um, I know we've been missing Kevin Love for a little while, so we haven't really had like a real backup center. So we've been playing really small as well. Like we've been outsized. That last game against Orlando, they were cooking us in the paint. Like everybody was getting to the paint, every single person. Like Markel Fultz, I think he had like a dunk, like a running dunk at the rim. He had like any layup that he wanted. And that's the smallest person. That's probably the smallest person on the Magic. So it's disappointing to see like, okay, Bam goes out, and if Kevin Love is hurt, like we can't even play Orlando Robinson or Thomas Bryant. Like is pathetic. Which I think they need to actually like look at the market and see if they can pick somebody up. If nothing else, and I'm not saying they have to be like the defensive presence that Bam is, but if nothing else, they can score the basket. Like if we need to pick up a basket or whatever. So is
Yeah.
like that's just disappointing. It's disappointing to see. Hopefully Jaquez comes back. When he comes back, he's back inserted into his role on the team because he was clearly cooking and he was clearly a reason why we were successful when he played and why we're looking unsuccessful when he's out of the game.
Yeah. I want to address like that point you made about Tyler
Mm-hmm.
like taking not taking shots at all. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's the opposite. I feel like he started during the season like he
Mm-hmm.
would take good shots.
Right.
Like he would get to that floater, he would get to, here and there the pull up three. He wouldn't like rely on his jump shot as
Right.
much. But now I feel like he's starting to go back to that, like taking mad jump shots,
Mm-hmm.
taking difficult shots, and not using his floater at all. And I've been noticing that. That's why he's been struggling, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's not just that, but it's also the fact, like I said, Jaquez. First of all, if they're relying on a rookie to be consistent
Yeah.
offensively, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's horrible.
Yeah.
First of all, that's horrible. That's bad team construction. Second of all, um, yeah, but like the fact that maybe Jaquez is missing, and Jaquez was putting pressure on the rim,
Mm-hmm.
allowed Tyler and Duncan to get like more open threes and stuff like that.
Right.
Um, but the second thing I wanted to say is that I feel like also the big three on the team are like playing like not to step on each other's shoes
Yeah.
in a way. Like it kind of hesitant, which is why like the offense is just pass, 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 pass,
Mm-hmm.
24-second violation, stuff like that. It's kind of it feels that way. Like at some point, somebody has to take a shot. You feel me? Like
Yeah. Facts. Yeah.
um, somebody has to be like, all right, fuck this. Like I'm gonna just take over.
Yep.
I'm feeling myself. Let me go crazy. And yeah, like I said, later in the episode, we're gonna talk about our new member of the team,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
yeah, like
And right.
I
And
felt like they needed that type of person where like just like a natural hooper where he just like if he got an ISO going on,
mm-hmm.
he could just be like hit somebody with a move here and there, like double cross or something,
Yeah.
then step back and then make like that type. We need we needed somebody like that. Yeah,
Facts.
I'm excited.
Nah, yeah, and like, and we're gonna get to that point like right now, actually, but um, you're right, like about them playing and not step on each other's toes. It's to the point where like, and this can happen just with the Heat. Like they start playing too unselfish, like I mentioned earlier. Like they play too unselfishly, and it's like, no, somebody needs to be like, nah, I'm getting buckets, and I don't really care. Like as long as I'm getting buckets and getting stops on the other end, I'm cool with that. And speaking of that, obviously the whole point of this new episode back, not the whole point, but a big point, the trade. So today, the Miami Heat traded Kyle Lowry and a 2027 first round pick for Terry Rozier, of the Charlotte, or formerly of the Charlotte Hornets. Um, First of all, before we move on, um, shout out to Kyle Lowry. Um, it was interesting, like his tenure there on the Heat. Obviously Kyle Lowry's a champion. Kyle Lowry's a baller. Like nobody's gonna take that away from him. But it just seemed at times he played way too passively, and like there will be games where like he wouldn't shoot the ball. And it's like, okay, I see the vision. I see that you're trying to be more of a distributor. You're trying to be a quarterback. You're trying to set everything up for the team. But sometimes we need you to get buckets, dog. You like, because essentially we're playing 5-on-4, but like, and sometimes it'll be like 5-on-4, but like the wrong way. Like we're playing usually when it's 5-on-4, it's like, oh, this person is good on offense, but doesn't play defense. No, this dude just didn't play offense, and sometimes he would barely play defense unless he was fouling somebody. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm not like I'm not gonna like bash Kyle Lowry like too much because we've had episodes like that we've named after him. There's been times where Bam and Jimmy were hurt and or like two of the big three would be hurt and Kyle Lowry would be cooking like dropping 26, 27 points a game. But then it's like you got games where he's dropping like 3, 4, 5, 6, like consistently dropping under 10 points a game. And that's not what we need from our starting point guard. And my last point on Kyle Lowry, what makes it even worse is this summer we all thought like that Dame was coming to Miami. So we went from a potential like the hope of a potential 20 something point per game scorer to our point guard not even clipping 10 points per game. So I think that made things like a bit worse than probably what they actually were because and I know that there was talk of trading him last year, but it's not like anything changed. Like he was playing the same exact way, like that he played last year. But I just think this summer with the whole Dame rumors throughout the whole summer and like thinking we would get Dame, but then to not get Dame and then to get the production that we were getting from Kyle Lowry, it wasn't gonna work. So Miami decided to make that trade, and they picked up a 23 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 6 assists, 1 steal per game player in Terry Rozier. How you feel about that trade?
Man, look, that's like I said before. Like whenever you have like straight dogs in your team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you add like a pure hooper to it, like somebody that could you put the ball in his hands and could get you a bucket
Yep.
because he could get open by himself. Like that's I've emphasized this for the last like 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't care however many times we got to the Eastern Conference Finals, however many times we got to the finals, we always needed that person that
Mm-hmm.
could get a bucket by himself.
Yep.
Like I love Tyler. I love Tyler. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But he cannot he struggles to just score if it's not with a screen. Like
Yeah.
he needs a screen like most of the time. And that's been a thing since ever since he came to the team, and he's improved. Like he's now he's getting to the floater here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But and then like I don't know what changed, but when the season started, he came back. He was playing so well. Like
Yep.
he wasn't using as many screens as before, and then now he's like reverting back to how he was last year.
Right.
Um, but now the fact that we got Terry, I've seen some clips of like him coming off the screen. He finds his teammates very well, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. He's
I was
averaging
surprised
six.
because
He's almost averaging 7 assists a game. Like he's
yeah,
almost
like
averaging
in
seven.
my eyes, he was a shoot. Like I thought he was a shooting guard,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he is a
I
shooting
think he
guard.
is a shooting
But
guard.
he's
Yeah.
more like a combo guard, or
Mm-hmm.
more of a scoring guard, combo guard.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's able to, you know, find his teammates of the bounce, like of the dribble,
Mm-hmm.
or if he's drawing double teams, that's gonna benefit us. It's gonna take a lot of pressure off of Tyler,
Yeah. Facts.
and meaning Tyler's gonna get more open shots.
Yep.
He's gonna he's gonna be able to get easier buckets like off like handoffs. Let's say for example, um, Bam is gonna benefit off of that
Yep.
because I also saw that Terry Rozier was very good of pick and rolls. Like he would
Mm-hmm.
pass very well of pick and rolls and stuff like that.
Yep.
He will also lob, like he will throw lobs. That's
Mm-hmm.
something that we don't have on the team, bro. Nobody throws lobs, bro,
Facts.
especially to Bam. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not just not gonna blame people for not throwing lobs. I've also seen lobs being thrown at Bam, and he will always blow the dunk.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
a lot there's some fault for Bam as well. Like
Yeah.
like it's not all on everybody else. Like Bam was also at fault, but yeah, man, just having that dynamic scorer
Yep.
that could get you a bucket whenever. He also doesn't struggle finding teammates, as we can see from the stats.
Yep.
6 assists. Um, and yeah, man, I feel like that they needed that new surge of energy, like
Completely
some
agree.
like damn, like we have a bucket getter on the team, yo. Like we
Yep.
feel good, we feel good about it. I think they needed that.
And realistically too, like we've just been like pretty stagnant, like with the team. Like we were pretty stagnant from last season, moving forward. Like we had a couple of pickups, Josh Richardson, the Thomas Bryant pickup, but we didn't pick up like any scorers. And here's with Terry Rozier, like that was my big thing. Like we knew we were getting like we're getting somebody that's gonna at least look to score the ball. Like sometimes that's all you need because, like you said, he's gonna get Tyler so many open shots because people expect him to shoot. So it's not like you can just double team Tyler or like send a double team at Bam because you're not worried about our point guard not shooting the ball. And what I think
Exactly.
was good for Terry Rozier on Charlotte, and it sucks that Lamelo had to get hurt in the process. But when Lamelo went
Mhm.
down, Terry had to step into the starting point guard, and it's always been that way. Like when Lamelo goes down, it's usually Terry Rozier. I know they have like other point guards and stuff, but usually it's Terry Rozier that was the one that was picking up the point guard duties. And this year when Lamelo got hurt, I think he like hurt his ankle. He was out for a while. Rozier stepped up, and they played the Heat like a few weeks ago, and he dropped. I think he had like 36. He had like 36 on us.
Yeah.
If I'm not, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Um,
Yeah,
it's
like
not
I think
important.
he had
He
like
had
five
26.
steals too.
Yeah, he had 26, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Like that was the last time they played us. So he's getting buckets. Like he's getting buckets. His last game he had 11 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. That was against Minnesota. But they still ended up winning that game, or whatever. But yeah, it's a like really solid pickup. Um, and speaking of the pickup, like I do think that there's a couple of changes Miami can make within the team, like with who they have already, to really make this work. I think you let Rozier start. You put Duncan back in the starting
Highsmith
lineup.
needs to start.
Yep, you put Duncan back in the lineup. You
Highsmith.
put Jimmy at the 3. You put Highsmith at the 4, and Bam at the 5. That needs to be the starting 5 because Tyler coming off the bench is going to give a consistent dynamic. And then if you want to, you end the game with that same starting lineup. You just probably take Duncan out if you really want to put Tyler in, and then you can like end the game off with those 5 individuals: Terry, Tyler, Jimmy, Highsmith, and Bam. But even
Yeah.
so, like the thing that'll work is you put Tyler on the bench with Caleb and let him come off the bench with Caleb, probably Duncan, maybe. No, Duncan would be on the starting lineup. So you put him on the bench, you get him to come off the bench with Caleb, you get him to come off the bench with Kevin Love, and you have like that unit run the second unit. And now you don't have to worry about those drop offs because you have two 20 plus scorers in every side of the rotation. I don't think they'll do that, but that's something that I think would probably help the team out. Just letting Tyler come off the bench. We've seen Tyler's former sixth man of the year. Like, so it's not like Tyler comes off the bench and he's a bum. Like, no, he comes off the bench and he gets buckets. He can still average 20 coming off the bench. So I don't think that'll happen. I think they'll just end up doing like Terry, Tyler, Jimmy, Highsmith, and Bam, which is also not a bad starting lineup. Like that's actually a really good starting lineup. Um, but I just think it'll be more effective if we threw Duncan back, especially like this Duncan, like Duncan Robinson of the 2024 season, because this Duncan Robinson, whole different animal from what we've been seeing.
Right. And even like even if you have those Tyler, Terry, Jimmy, Highsmith, and Bam,
Hmm.
I feel like in a way like you have two 3 level scorers on your team.
Hmm.
Then you got a 2-way player with Jimmy. Then you got a 3-and-D with Highsmith.
Yep.
I feel like Bam doesn't even have to worry about offense at that point.
Nope. They could just
At
keep
that
him on
point, all you have to
defense.
worry about is defense. On defense, straight defense. And
Yep.
that's where he shines the most. Like he's gonna like here and there he could get to that mid range, you feel me, or like draw a foul cover
Mm-hmm.
here and there.
Yep.
But his best game is defense and playmaking.
Yep.
If he could get to that game, man, Bam, all he has to do is put all that energy on defense and he good.
Yep.
Him, Jimmy, and Highsmith just clamping everybody. But like I said before, Terry, I would say Terry, he has the potential to be to not be like not just be a cone on defense. Like
Yeah.
he's quick.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, he's tenacious. Like
Yep.
um, all I know is if we could give us 15-5, that's all we need, bro.
That's
15
amazing.
and 5 is all we need, bro.
That's
That's all
amazing.
we need, bro.
That's 10 more. That's 10 more points than what Lowry was giving us. And like I said, this is not a bash Lowry thing. Like that's not what I'm doing here. But like the facts are the facts. Like what you want me to say? Like the facts are the facts. Like he wasn't being a scorer. But yeah, 15-5, that's perfect. If you want to average 20, that's 4 players averaging 20. I'm okay with that. I'm completely fine with that. You know, so it was a great pickup. I'm happy that Miami did it. Like that I think that was something that most Heat fans wanted to happen. We weren't too like high on it. Like, oh, I mean, you know, if it happened, whatever. We still gonna ride out with the team. But the fact that they did the trade, the fact that they made the trade is amazing. And hopefully, so by the time you guys like see this episode, we would have already played our Wednesday game against who we playing tomorrow? I forgot.
We play the Grizzlies, I think.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yep, it's the Grizzlies. So we would have already played the Grizzlies. Hopefully, you know, Rozier plays. We can see it, and this will be a really good tune-up game. Honestly, because the Grizzlies, they're missing a lot of their star players and stuff, and that's not to underestimate them because they're an NBA team. So hopefully Rozier plays, and you know by the time you guys are hearing this, we would have known what he did already. So you know, like we mentioned earlier, you know, we'll be moving back to the weekly episodes. So please be on the lookout for those weekly episodes. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys like. We'd really appreciate that. Thank y'all for sticking it with us when going through name changes and brand changes and everything. We're still trying to, we're still figuring this out, but we here for y'all. We enjoy doing this, so yeah, we appreciate y'all. Let's see what the Heat do. Let's see what we talking about next week. Hopefully, we talking about some wins and some W's, and maybe another trade happens. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they might want to do something else. They might want to move some other pieces and improve the team so we can keep up with these top teams in the East. So, Gary, you got anything?
Maybe Terry go for 40, man.
And we play Boston Friday too. So that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. So he'll be going back to Boston. Hopefully he drop 50 there. I don't know, drop whatever you want. But yeah, you got anything else to say before we leave these good people?
Nah, man, just tune in. We're gonna try to release, short clips on TikTok on our TikTok page, and tune in to the daily episodes. Well, not weekly episodes.
Yeah.
Tune into the episodes. Tune into the clips, and yeah, we're getting back on track now.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. We'll holla at you guys later. Peace.
Peace.